All right, making sure everything is golden. There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Airsoft Al. The common man's airsoft reviews bad guns so you don't buy them. And today we are talking about a project which I kind of talked about in 2018, but haven't really talked about much in 2019. Okay, granted, I talked about it a lot on Facebook, but not a lot here on YouTube. That project being, of course, a spin-off or at least a sequel to the one that has annoyed a lot of people and kind of gotten a lot of people up in arms over what I've done. And that is, of course, a Magpul-PTS project. Not just any Magpul-PTS project, but a Magpul-PTS support weapon. Yes, that's right, a support weapon. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and answer some of the most commonly asked questions I got over this project. One of the first ones was, what has inspired me to do this? More or less three things. One, there has not been, nor has there ever been, a Magpul-PTS support weapon. Be it a SAW, be it a HK M27 IAR, none. That's the biggie. Second, my M16A1 project. When I was doing the M16A1, I started looking around at other ideas I could do to it. Then I came across a Danish, I'm hoping I'm correct on that, a Danish or Dutch light machine gun, which is essentially an M16 with a drum mag, or with a beta mag, and a heavy barrel on it. That's the cool part. And thirdly, this one's just one I wanted to do. I took inspiration to make the Magpul-PTS support weapon. I was originally calling it an LMG, but then people got up in arms saying, oh, it's not belt-fed, it's not an LMG. Even though my definition of an LMG is much different from your definition of an LMG, but what the fuck ever, I'll just continue calling it a support weapon so I don't have people freaking yelling at me saying, no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's the wrong nomenclature for the gun. And hello, Ajax. So until then, we'll continue on with that. Now, what inspired me to do this was not only my M16, but also one that I love to heart from Black Ops 1, the RPK. I love the RPK simply because it's basically a huge AK. I fucking love the RPK light machine gun simply because it's iconic, it's cool, it's... For any of you who've ever played Black Ops 1 or actually own an RPK, even the civilian or the full auto variant or even the airsoft variant, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, aside from that, another support weapon or another light machine gun that really inspired me to actually do this build is, of course, the HK-21, the magazine-fed, not the belt-fed version. The HK-21 is an iconic... Exactly. The HK-21 is another cool cold gun that is just amazing. It combines the reliability of an HK rifle with the high rate of fire of a machine gun and the elegant quality of HK can offer. So I was sitting here looking at this and I'm like, Magpul-PTS. And you know what? We have done that, actually. We have the base gun. The base gun being an Elite Force M4 CQB Gen 3, which is going to go into another question. What's the base gun and how are you going to handle it? What's your manual of arms? Well, like I said, this is essentially going to be much like the RPK, HK-21, the HK M27 IAR, which is now being adopted by the Marine Corps. Hoorah! It is going to essentially be a M4 that has the ability to lay rounds down range while at the same time give me the ability to turn into a DMR. This is going to be a platform that is going to be an in-between of a DMR and a light machine gun, a support weapon. So if I drop on a drum mag or I run out on a drum mag, I can basically look over to my squad mate and be like, hey, magazine, drop the drum mag, hit this, pop it in there, slap the bolt release, and just continue firing rounds down range. That is essentially my manual of arms, is treat it like a light machine gun until I need to engage enemies at farther distances, then flip the semi-automatic and use it like a DMR. Which is where the parts come in. Yes, I'm going to talk about the parts that is going to be going into this thing. If you'd already seen the first video about it, I had already sound off some parts that I had found. However, that parts list has gone up a little bit. The parts that are going in that are going to be obviously going into this thing is no more, no less than a 30K motor. Yes, a 30,000 RPM motor. Why? Better trigger response, high rate of fire, and just the ability to light a son of a bitch up. Oh my god, it is going to be so much fun. Second, a tight bore inner barrel. Now, because it's going to be a mid-length barrel, yes, one of the external parts is a mid-length handguard, the SL handguard. If you haven't seen that one, it's actually a really cool handguard. I love that handguard. It's going to be more or less a mid-length handguard, and it's going to be a long inner barrel. So that's a 10-inch barrel with a 300, 400 millimeter. I can't remember the exact millimeter. I would look, but I'm not going to look. A very long tight bore inner barrel. So that's not only going to give me distance, but is also going to give me a tight grouping. Speaking of the distance, inside the hop-up unit, which is going to be a full metal hop-up unit, mind you, rotary style, it is going to be a flat hop. Yes, flat hop. Not an R-hop, a flat hop, because that's what's inside my M16. And that flat hop has given me nothing but just laser beam, laser beam of BBs. Just laser beam, straight on. And that's more or less what's going to be. I'm not going to be touching the gearbox because the gearbox that comes with the Elite Force M4 CQB, it's already good as can be. Just slap a 30K motor in that bad boy and woo boy, man, it's fun. Now, this is where the modularity of the M4 is going to come into play because of the butt stock. I'm not really going to be doing anything with the front end. I'm not really going to be doing anything frontwards, but the butt stock, that's where things are going to be a little bit different because of where I live. Where I live is mostly woodlands, wooded areas, sandy, trenches, things like that. Mostly a staying in one position and firing in one direction type deal. So the stock, the stock I've selected is a full stock with an adjustable cheek riser and an adjustable butt plate. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to be saying. Why? Why go with that instead of a retractable stock? Well, I do have a retractable stock. In fact, I have a PTS stock on there on the parts list. Again, modularity. The reason for the full stock, which is a precision stock, is because when looking at it, not only from an airsoft point of view, but also looking at it from a real steel point of view, I started thinking, because here's the thing. When you have a stock where you can adjust the butt pad out, let me just go this way, we can adjust the butt pad out to where it will actually push the actual stock away from you. When thinking about it, in a sense, it will act as a buffer. So if you have it on full auto, that right there will act as sort of a buffer, reducing the recoil that you will physically feel on your shoulder. Again, I might be wrong on how that works, but you can correct me in the comments section or in live chat. Now, for the cheek riser, this one is where it really comes into play. If I am in a position in the woods where I have to shift my focus of fire away from a position or reach it up a little bit, I can simply raise that cheek riser to where it causes my cheek to go like this, and I can lower the gun physically so I can start arcing the BBs a little farther out if the flat hop is not able to reach the distance. Again, adjusting a fire. Now, as for the retractable stock, yes, I am going to get a retractable stock. That is more or less for urban environments, switching between a wooded environment to urban environments. Because when you're switching between the two, you don't exactly want to have a fixed stock, because having that fixed stock right there is going to cause a little bit of hassle, because the gun itself, guessing here with the 10-inch barrel plus the stock, is going to be roughly around under 20 inches. This is not going to be a full-length rifle barrel, a full-length rifle platform, but it's under that 20-inch mark. So it's going to be a big gun. And having that retractable stock on there for when I'm going into an urban area or somewhere where I know I'm going to definitely be fighting in closer combat situations, I'm going to swap out the fixed stock, pull out of my bag the retractable stock, flop it on there, and just Bob's your uncle. Go right into an urban area. Now, if you guys have questions of your own about the Magpul-PTS LMG project, please sound off in the chat or comment section down below. I will happily try and answer them as best of my abilities. Now, moving on to the most commonly asked question I have ever got. Will Magpul Senpai notice you? Will PTS Senpai notice you? Will Greg notice you? I don't care. I know that might be a shock to some people, but I'm not doing this for fame or fortune. I'm doing this because no one's ever done it, And I want to put my building skills to the test and see if I can actually build this gun. And when I finally get the parts in, that's where things are going to be fun, because I am actually going to do a live stream of me actually putting this thing together. Yes, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Yes, it is going to be so tiresome, and you're going to hear me cussing like a motherfucker, probably impaling my thumb on a metal screw or something and hurting like a bitch. But it is going to be so worth it, and I want you guys with me there for when we actually build this beast. And by God, it is going to be so much fun. But until that day comes, I'm going to just keep you updated on what we actually have and what parts we already have on the list and what's going to be going into this gun. Now, outside of the obvious stuff, the price tag of this build is not cheap, like at all. Including the price tag of the base gun, which we already have, which is $175 plus tax. This build is going to be around $500, $600 plus tax. So yeah, not a cheap build, like at all. But then again, nothing is in this crazy sport of ours. Because let's face it, building your own gun from the ground up is something that we as players are known for. And before I continue to answer the other question, no, I won't be HPAing it. I already feel the dislike button being smashed as I say that. Here's the reason. I don't exactly have the money for it. And Tennessee, where I am, is not exactly friendly for HPA players because of the crazy weather. And since 2019 is already being said to be the hottest, if not the hottest, summer we're going to be facing right now, I'm not going to put a tank that could possibly explode in my car or on my back. Just a safety reason. Also, it's expensive as fuck. Anyway, though. But in all seriousness, though, guys, please do let me know in the comments section and chat what you think of what I've said so far. Would you want to do a Magpul-PTS build? Would you like to see this kind of build in Airsoft? Also, would you kindly... Actually, I'm not going to do it like that. I am going to say this. We do have a PayPal in the description down below, and of course, we do have a PayPal on the actual main YouTube channel itself. And if you guys want to help out, please do consider donating $1. $1 is all I'm asking for to the PayPal. If you want to donate more than $1, then hey, that's your choice. That's your freedom of choice. That's what you want to do, then by all means, go ahead. Waste that money on people like me. But do know that this build would not have been possible without help from the Magpul and the PTS community. My friends, you are awesome. My viewers are awesome. PTS is awesome. Magpul is awesome. Everyone who's helped out so far on this build is fucking awesome. And each and every single one of you should take heart in knowing that you helped out in this creation. You helped out in the list of the parts that we have for this build. You yourselves, in a sense, put your hands in the toolbox that holds the wrench, the screwdriver, the power drill, the cordless drill, all the tools that I will be using to build this beast when we finally get the parts in. Anyway, that's about all I have to say, folks. But if you got questions about the build, sound off in the comments section down below. And if you guys want to help out, consider donating to our PayPal. Or if you have parts that you think would help out with the build, sound off. Message me over YouTube's Instant Messenger now. And, yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. As always, I've been Airsoft Al, the common man's Airsoft, who reviews bad guns so you don't buy them, and the builder of awesome builds that you might want to do yourself. Till next time.